Hey everybody, hope you're doing okay out there in quarantine land. I realised that quite a lot of the projects that we're doing need square pieces of paper, but I didn't show you how to make a square piece of paper. So I've got some A4 here. I've also got some old envelopes and a very random piece of paper, all of which I'd like to make into origami cranes. But it's not going to be any good unless they are perfectly square. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So the easiest one to start with is the A4 piece of paper, and you can use this technique on any piece of paper. So if we line up this edge and this edge together, what we'll find is that we've got a big bit that we need to get rid of. So we're going to line this edge and this edge up together, imagining that this corner here is going to be split in half. So nice tight fold, squish it down. If you're going to be pro, use a pair of scissors, holding it by the sharp end obviously. And then to get rid of this piece really nice and neatly, you can either cut along this edge with a pair of scissors, or if you're going to be really pro, use a ruler with a really sharp edge, so a metal ruler or one of those rulers with where it comes down at the edge. Bend your piece of paper up, and then to be really pro, flip it over and do the same on the other side. So line it up again and make a nice sharp crease, and then you can really carefully tear it. Get rid of that bit, and there you have a perfectly square piece of paper. Now this is going to be a bit more tricky. We've got it was a lovely bunch of flowers from a friend of mine, but it's got some tape here. It's a little bit torn. It's got a sticker on there. We've only really got one straight edge, so I'm going to cut off as much of it as I can that hasn't got all the bits on that I don't want to use. Get rid of that. So what I'm going to do is make it as square as I think I can make it. So even if it's a bit rough, doesn't matter. Kind of a square, not really. Let's make it into a square. We're going to use that folding technique again. So we're going to fold it on the diagonal, and we know that we're going to have loads to cut off here. So we're going to take our ruler again, line it up, fold it like we did last time. You're probably going to end up cutting off quite a lot. So it's going to be, if you started out with a really big piece of paper, you might end up with a square that's a bit smaller than you were expecting. So just bear that in mind. Here we go. So it's not going to be absolutely dead on, but let's not worry about that too much because we are in quarantine. We can't expect everything to be perfect. So we're going to fold it over again and see how close we've got to a perfect square. So we're going to use this as a guide, like this middle bit of the triangle here, and I'm expecting these two not to meet. There we go, they don't quite meet, so this bit is shorter than this bit, so that is the bit that I'm going to cut off. I'm going to cut off all along here until these two corners meet. Get rid of the excess, and here, well, I can see that that's not quite a perfect square. So what I'm going to do now is fold it in half. So I can see it's kind of coming off at an angle here. Fold it in half again. Fold it along this diagonal. And where I can see the bits that need cutting off, so I'm definitely not going to cut these bits, because if I do that the whole thing's going to fall apart and it's going to be lots of little squares rather than one big square. Cut this bit up here. I think it's going to be much closer to the square that I'm after. So there we go. Much closer to a perfect square. Not absolutely perfect, but good enough for what we need.